Okay, so today I'm making a cheese toastie to go with my recently made cream of tomato soup. One of the best soups I've ever made, deserves a cheese toastie, but I'm going to slightly change the cheese toastie a little bit. So all I've done so far is I've measured out the soup. You'll see a little clip here of me measuring out, I think it was 300 grams of the soup. And likewise, there'll be a clip appearing there that shows me measuring out and chopping the cheese prior. And I also measured the shape and the size of the cheese to actually make sure it matches the bread. There's 40 grams of extra mature, light, fat-reduced cheddar. And this is, I believe it's called Barber Cruncher cheddar. It's a full-fat cheese, basically, and there's 70 grams of that. I'm not sure how that's going to melt, but we'll find out. It's a learning curve, isn't it? But yeah, also, I'm going to put some whole grain mustard underneath that one, because I think it's a very basic cheese, that one, so a bit of extra flavour. Also, cheese, mustard, beef, absolute classic pairing. So let's get on with this. Oh, I've got 2 slices of bread already out. These were the consecutive ones, and when you're making a cheese toastie, open it up like that, and you'll find when you put it back, it fits, rather than it doesn't fit. I know that's neurotic on my part, but I like symmetry when it comes to my cheese toastie. So what we're going to do first is get the air fryer on and put that to preheat. And then I think we're going to slightly toast the bread just to get a little bit of structural integrity before we start adding additional ingredients. So the first thing we will do is put a bit of kitchen roll underneath there, because that's probably going to be a chopping area. And let's get that. Oh, I'll add a bit of pepper onto that part of the cheese as well. Yes, that's a right idea. So let's get a knife and butter. Oh, let's start microwaving that as well. Put a lid on it. Fire that in the microwave. That's 1 minute 30 on that. That's fine. I haven't thinned out the soup just yet. I'm going to thin it out at the end. Actually, what I'm going to do is put a bit of water in the bowl, wash it out, and then add that to the actual thing. So I'm going to keep it thick for now. But yeah, every one of my soups tends to be made thick, so you can thin it down afterwards. It's like concentrated soup, if you will. I think concentrated soup even exists, possibly. Let's not get too distracted, because that doesn't need to toast too much. We just need to dry it out a little and try and find which bit was bit. There's always going to be one thicker and one thinner slice, so if there is a thicker and thinner slice, put the ingredients that are bigger on the thicker slice. Now, we don't want too much butter here. We're just going to try and do the edges mainly. Because it's just to protect the edges from getting too burnt when we start melting the cheese. Okay, that will do nicely. Right, now let's find a way of getting rid of that. Okay, and we said just a little dollop of whole grain mustard, just on there. That'll do nicely. I could put a bit of Marmite on that side, but no, I want that cheese to just taste of itself. So let's construct this, leaving a bit of space for it to melt. Like that, that's good. I've got way more cheese than I need, but I'll probably eat some of this because the cheese tax has to be paid. Yeah, I did suspect this would be crumbly as well, so let's try and be a little bit more pragmatic about that. There! Yeah, this is probably going to be a nightmare, but we'll see. It's all a learning curve. There's some spare cheese there. Maybe I should have constructed that in there, but never mind. Side protector. Let's go with that. Woo. And let's see if we can get this in here. The left-hand side of my air fryer tends to be hotter than the right-hand side. And let's just put that cheese back into its place and fire that in there. Let's go with, yeah, the preheat setting, full power. Melt that cheese. Where's my side protector? That's hot! How are we going? Okay, that's quite hot already. So good. Right, another minute and a half, I think. Okay. Sign protector for that. The off-camera sign is that's melted, that's starting to melt. And we're going to put the pastrami onto the other side. So let's just quickly do that. The microwave's just beeped as well. So let's go with that there. Just fire it on, try not to be too neurotic about this. There we go. In fact, if I make it all folded and weird, it'll look really good when you cut into the cross section. Right, quick wash the hands. Fire that back in. That's got another couple of minutes on. But yeah, that's going to get the pastrami up to temperature and make it a little bit drier so it doesn't become all slidey and hopefully crisp it up a little bit. Right, that's that dealt with, that's that dealt with. Bring the soup back over. You will not learn that this is incredibly hot. A clean spoon. Let's bring out the spoons, let's go. Oh yeah, look at that, that's lovely. Right. Delightful. Right, that's tasty and hot enough. Let's add just a little bit of cold water just now. Just because I want it to be a little thicker than that, thinner than that even. Right, back in the microwave for 1 minute. Alright, it's been less than a minute, but I can smell that the pastrami is getting cooked. And oh, look at that, there we go. Lovely and melty, starting to crisp up. A little bit of pepper. That Barber cheddar has really melted well. I'm really impressed with that. So let's have that. The microwave's done. Let's see if I can do this without setting my hands on fire. Oh yeah! Jeez! In fact, pull that out of there for a second. And halve the size of this paper, because otherwise that's just going to catch the top of the air fryer. So there we go. Right. A little bit's poking out the side there, that's just cheeky. Right, let's fire that back in there. And toast to the top. Carry on. Soupy loop. That's really hot now, I'm going to have to start behaving. Okay, and one more spoon. Yeah, if I didn't put that coal in, this would have been getting dry and crispy around the edges because it was too thick. But yeah, let's dispense this now. Let's see how well this goes. That's about 125. Yeah. Oh man, have I just gone so hungry. Oh! Right, let's get a bit of cold water. Slosh that around. The prospect of food is on its way. Another cheese spit. Snacking cheese. Low energy. Okay. Oh wow. That's toasted that side beautifully. Switch it over. Okay. Let's do this bit by eye, come on. There you go, that's a lovely thick, but not too thick soup consistency, I think. Could probably go a little bit thinner, but you know what? I'm not obsessing too much. I'm trying not to obsess too much anyway. Right, let's test. Okay, that's cooled down significantly. Okay, one at a time for. Other hand. Yay! And finally one. Oh, let's get the toastie out. Oh, look at that. This looks amazing. Hey, that can go away. 1 clean teaspoon. There we go. Let's have a look at that. That's a good temperature. That's hot but edible. That's nice. Okay, and we're going to cut straight down the middle, because that way everybody gets a top and a bottom. No, look at that. And there we go. There it is. Right. Oh, and one last bit of pepper. There we go. Cream of tomato soup with a cheese and pastrami toastie, 2 different cheeses. Delightful.